We know it was at Paris that Ignatius formed the first companions that would eventually yield the Society of Jesus, and we have that in this poster here. And Father Kevin explained that when he first came to Paris, St. Ignatius entrusted the money that he had begged and been given to him to a student who proved that he wasn't equal to the confidence that St. Ignatius placed in him. The result of that at that time, and then at many other times in Ignatius's life, was that he was forced to beg and go on begging journeys often when he was a student. We think even that he may have come over to England to beg from merchants who were there, who would support him. And we've got to imagine that he was subjected to all sorts of indignities in begging. You know, he was an older man. It would be easy for people to say, why are you seeking money? You should be doing other things to raise your own funds, not rely on yourself. Questions about whether or not he was serious about his studies, and whether he was honest about wanting to study. But after people would meet him and talk to him, they would be won over because his sincerity was so palpable, and perhaps also his desire to bring the people he was begging from closer to the Lord was very, very clear. The early companions spent a fair amount of time, begging and looking for, financial resources just to survive. Very, very simply, they weren't looking for a lot of money, but they did a lot of begging. And there's some indication that St. Ignatius had to be very careful when he would walk in the streets of Rome, because creditors for the Society of Jesus, because of the many projects that he started, and those projects got him into serious debt, were running afoul of, the finances. And so, creditors might come after him. He wasn't afraid to beg, and he wasn't afraid to try to bring the people he was begging from closer to the Lord. But it must have been for this noble, with a deep sense of pride in his own worth, always a difficult thing to do. He put that aside because God had given him a mission. And so his own personal proclivities, he didn't allow them to change what he was supposed to do. In all of our lives, we've got things that we prefer not to do, but we sense we must do them because they're part of our role in our ministry, in our families, or in our world, or in our church. May the Lord give us as much steadfastness and as much confidence in doing those things as St. Ignatius had in his begging, country after country, to support this vision and this mission that God had given to him. And that's the wisdom of St. Ignatius for today.